I have some great strategies for good night's sleep. Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, hi, my name is Sylvia and I'm a big city mom. I live in New York City, I work here and I raise my family here. And whenever I get some free time, I blog and vlog about health through diet and nutrition. I'm not a doctor, but I am the CEO of my household, and health and well-being of me and my family are my top priorities. So if this is you, you should definitely subscribe and hit that notification bell. All right, let's get started with today's video. Sleep is critical to just about every aspect of our health, and it's not an overstatement to say that our lives depend on it. And yet, too often we take sleep for granted. I know I did. Especially in my 20s, I was so careless and I was doing just fine. So I would go on through the day on 3 hours of sleep. Just had a cup of strong coffee in the morning and I was fine. I used to work and study at the same time, so when the finals were coming up, I would drink a Red Bull later on in the day and then just study through half of the night, go through my finals, and then when the finals were over, I was out there in the meatpacking district partying Thursday, Friday, Saturday, sometimes on a Sunday as well. Meatpacking district is a part of New York City where all the clubs are located. At least they were when I was partying. I don't know what the situation is right now because it's been many years since I partied last time. But anyway, when I turned 30, 31, 32, my body started pushing back against the abuses, and I had to start paying attention to what I was eating, when I was eating it, my levels of stress, when I was drinking coffee, how much of it I was drinking. And when I was 33, I had a serious bout of insomnia, and it took me quite a while to figure it out, and I was using different strategies. But finally, I was able to get rid of my problems with sleep. Now, if you are diagnosed with insomnia or you have some chronic issues with sleep, you are probably better off talking to a health professional to guide you through this. But if you have problems with occasional sleeplessness because of the poor lifestyle choices or bad diet, I think I have some great tips for you. Before we talk about what you need to do to have a good night's sleep, let's talk about what not to do. And we are going to start with coffee. I know you love it. I used to love it too. I quit it altogether because I was super sensitive to coffee and it was affecting my ability to fall asleep and stay asleep. I made a video about that, actually a few videos about my process of quitting coffee, the best strategies about it. It's linked up here, so please check it out. So examine how sensitive to coffee you are. If you drink it first thing in the morning, if it's a strong coffee, does it affect you later on in the day? Does it prevent you to fall asleep easily? Are you able to stay asleep after consuming coffee? So this is something that you need to take some time with to examine, but if you care about your sleep, it's really worth doing. Other thing is, how close to bedtime do you have your dinner? And do you eat right before you go to sleep? Especially if this is something that is really high in processed carbohydrates. Are they some type of comfort foods? It can really affect your ability to have restful sleep. And the spike in the blood glucose can actually prevent you from falling asleep easily. On that note too, you shouldn't also drink too much, not just coffee, but any liquids too close to bedtime, because this may affect your quality of sleep as you will be waking up at night to go to the bathroom. Now, ideally, you should stop eating about 5 to 6 hours before sleep. Now, for me, it's not quite doable because I do have a day job. So the earliest I can have my dinner is about 6 p.m. And I typically go to bed around 9 p.m. So I aim to have at least 3 hours of not eating before bedtime. And I try not to drink anything before 2 hours before I go to bed. So have a look at that. It can definitely influence your ability to fall asleep and stay asleep. Okay, so now that you cleaned up your diet, your habits of coffee, and you still can't fall asleep, let's talk about some strategies. I will list them in the order I would apply them if I had trouble falling asleep. So first ones are my favorites, essential oils. I must have mentioned them at least a few times in my videos, which is actually a great thing because you only need to buy them once and you can apply them to so many different areas of your life to improve your overall health. So if you know you had a really stressful day at work and you feel generally stressed out, run down, start with essential oils. You can take a hot bath with some Epsom salt and add some jasmine and lavender, or you can put them on your pillow or on the napkin next to your bed, and they will help you fall asleep. They will help you to relax. They have an effect on the relaxation of your mind and your body. If the essential oils don't work for you, or your body is just not responsive to them, I have another strategy, and this is a breathing method called 4-7-8 breathing. I first learned it from Dr. Andrew Weil. He is an integrative medicine physician, and this method combines different types of breathing, the timing of it, and some visualization. So the basic premise is this: you will inhale through your nose for the count of 4. Then you will hold your breath for the count of 7. And then you will exhale through your mouth for the count of 8. And when you are exhaling, you have to make this whooshing sound, something like this. And then you continue repeating the same cycle until you start feeling that your body is relaxing, your mind is calmer. I have to say that for me, usually 4 to 5 times was sufficient. And then also you can add some visualization, like your body is falling into the cloud, or you may be walking on the beach, whatever works for you. You know your mind better. Or some people don't need the visualization at all. And this is how this technique works. A lot of people report tons of benefits from this technique to manage their stress, to manage their anxiety. I personally used a variation of this technique when I was in labor with my son. I opted for a home birth, and I was doing the whole process of hypnobirthing, and this 4-7-8 method is part of the whole program. And so when I was managing my contractions and going through the whole process, I was using this breathing method, and it helped me to relax and not to get stressed out by the contractions. And it was a really enjoyable experience. In fact, my labor and delivery are one of the most memorable experiences of my life. So I highly recommend this technique, not just for relaxation to fall asleep easily, but for many other aspects of life that involve anxiety, tension, and stress. Sometimes, some days are harder, a lot harder than others, and even for me, essential oils won't work, or the breathing technique will be insufficient. If that happens, and it hasn't happened in the last 10 months, but if it does, I will go to 5-hydroxytryptophan. 5-hydroxytryptophan is a form of amino acid tryptophan. In fact, before you go to 5-hydroxytryptophan, you should try tryptophan itself. If I remember correctly from the studies, about 60% people will do well with tryptophan, and their bodies will make the sleep hormone from tryptophan. Now, for the rest of us, the body will use tryptophan for other purposes than making sleep hormone. And if that is the case, then you need to try 5-hydroxytryptophan. This is a tryptophan that is formulated in such a way that your body has no choice but to make the sleep hormone from it, melatonin. So if I need to take tryptophan, it will be in the form of 5-hydroxytryptophan. I take about 200 milligrams, and I am 5'8", and I weigh 135 pounds. Depending on your weight and your height, you might have to adjust the dosage. Now, some people take melatonin itself and it works well for them, and it worked for me as well as far as falling asleep goes. But the next day I would be feeling really groggy in the morning, and I would have to have some extra coffee, and then I would be stuck in this loop that the next day I would have trouble falling asleep again because I had too much coffee during the day. And so with 5-hydroxytryptophan, I don't have that grogginess the next day. It's basically side effects free, and it really helps me to fall asleep. It takes me about 45 minutes from the time I take it to fall asleep, and then I stay asleep for the night. And the most important part of it is that this is not a prescription drug. It is a form of naturally occurring amino acids, and that's what I like about it the most. Okay, so this will do it for this week's home remedies for sleep. These are the top 3 I've used over a long period of time, 2 of which actually don't involve any supplementation, and it's part of my objective to really be healthy through real food and supplement as little as possible. Now, if you know of some other interesting and effective home remedies for sleep, let me know in the comments down below. And before you go, please like, share, subscribe, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!